Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
So, the electrology, all of the electrology that you want or don't want, but you don't want hair. And so we had to find someone who could help people. And we found a beautiful young woman, Lise-Anne Jensen, and she's been writing articles for us in Boomer Times. And she's the lady that you go to. She has a smile on her face, and she has something she has a machine that makes you really feel more beautiful. Is that how I should put it?
There you go. That's a great answer.
You know what happens when you have little hair on your face, have little hairs? You wind up with your finger all the time. I've gotten a habit of doing that. People must think I'm crazy.
I see people driving and doing it. I see people in restaurants doing it.
You do? So,
yeah,
because it annoys you. You have that one little hair that's, right? You do.
Yeah.
And you want to run up to them and say, listen, right?
I even have a good friend who does it in front of me, and I look at her and I say, are you crazy? Come on, just come in. But no, she spends all her time doing that.
Yeah, because when they come in that way, they're like little thorns. They're not like some hair, you can't even feel it. It's just there.
Yeah, because it's soft and it lays down, but those thicker ones are a little rough.
And I've had Lise-Anne do this for me, and I know I should go back quickly because I always think maybe they'll just not like my face anymore and never be there. But they like it. They want to be there. The only time I don't do this when I'm sleeping. But no, I do. I notice
Good
that
luck
myself.
with that, yeah.
I'm doing that. You know, I do that all the time, and I know people. Why did you do it? I want to see what it looks like. It. Can I see what it looks like when you do it?
I even do it sometimes.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, see, and I can't do it. It's like someone.
But I try not to do it in public.
Right. It's like we would never pick our nose.
Okay.
I have to go there. It makes our shows a little more interesting because you know what she said on that.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that someone came because they appreciate the way you write. When you were going to school to learn to do this, were you a writer before this?
No, I never wrote anything in my life.
But you love what you do so much, and you've studied very hard, haven't you?
I did. I love what I do. And, yeah, I guess when you love what you do, you learn about it, you retain it, and I like sharing what I know with other people.
And when I went to see you to have my work done, my hair, I don't want to call it removed. It's not removing it. What's it actually?
It's removal.
It's removing it. All right. Okay. It's removing it. Then I went to a different place. Why don't you tell us all about your exciting new salon?
Yeah, I'm located inside of a hair salon now. I have a room in the back, and it's comfortable. I treat it like a spa, and I have music going, so there's relaxation. And I had someone come in the other day and say, do people fall asleep in here? And I said, yeah, they do, especially if they're relaxed and they aren't so nervous about the treatment. They come right in and they start listening to the music and they completely zone out.
I think I fell asleep when I was doing
it.
You
did.
I knew you'd say that. Of course, I like to talk to you, so you said to me, why don't you just relax and not
you talk? Can't talk. Sometimes you can't talk depending on what area of your face I'm working on because it's like trying to hit a moving target.
You're funny. And the other thing that I've noticed now is that you are doing facials.
Yes, I've added facials to my repertoire. It goes very well with the two things. You can come in and have electrolysis and then go straight to having a facial. So it actually calms the skin down quite a bit afterwards. Not that it's that irritated to begin with. Usually when you have the electrolysis done, it's about within the hour or two, the skin is back to normal. You're a little red for that period of time unless you're super sensitive. But with the facial, it's completely gone by the time you leave.
And so people should come with that in mind, that you don't have a facial first and then you have electrology.
You have the electrolysis first and then the facial.
And then the facial, of course, because that's what you were just saying. Mm-hmm. So let's just talk about we have done this before. Let's do it again. When people have black hair, compared to when people have white hair.
Right. It will always be a problem. People knowing the difference between laser and electrolysis. It doesn't matter how many times I tell people, I always hear, oh, what you do doesn't work on white hair. Well, yes, it does. Laser doesn't work on white hair, and electrolysis is completely different. I'm treating each individual hair right at the source of where it grows so that it doesn't come back, whereas laser is treating from the surface and it goes down into the tissue and destroys the hair, but it's attracted to pigment, and the white hair has no pigment. Laser also doesn't treat red hair. So electrolysis is the way to go to treat all hairs.
Have you ever had like maybe a white cloth or something, and when you take the hair out, you can show people what you've taken out?
I do put them on that.
And people want to see
for the
that?
most part. I don't put all of them there, but I do put many of them onto a piece of gauze that I have sitting there. And yeah, I show people. If they want to see it, I'll show it to them. Sometimes I even show them the individual hairs when I take them out if they're curious.
Right.
You know, they're asking me questions. I like to educate my clientele.
I know you do. And so let's say in a session, what do they usually, well, they can run anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, however you think that they want to take that time.
Right. It depends on the density of the hair and just by time.
How many hair can you, that's what I was going to ask you. We can't, I mean, it really does. That's what you said. It really depends because do some hair come out quickly and some takes a little time? Because I know that I've felt that sometimes we were doing it.
Yeah, when the hairs are thicker, they take a little longer to get rid of completely. They might need several treatments because they're so strong and so deeply rooted that when you give the current that is destroying the hair follicle, sometimes it might get 80% of the tissue or 20%. It varies. Sometimes you might get it all, but for the most part, the thicker ones are the ones that need multiple treatments. The fine ones tend to respond much quicker within one treatment if they're fine.
And I don't know if this is a good question or not, of course. I just ask whatever's on my mind, but on your chin, your chinny chin,
Mm-hmm.
seems like that they're stronger than over your lip. Is that not true, or some people have them dark out over their lip too?
Some people have them dark everywhere. It's all individual. Depends on what's going on with you. Anybody that has thick hairs on their face, it's all hormonal. Women, I should say, not men. Women who have thick, coarse hairs on their face, it's hormonal.
Now, of course, we have a lot of entertainers, especially, let's say, male entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, they either go, I guess, with laser, or I don't know what they do. Do they just shave their face, or they have electrolysis? What do they do? A lot of them, I mean, they shave, but let's say they're entertainers who maybe they're gay, and they or maybe they're transvestite, something.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do with their face?
Some of them have laser if the hair is dark to knock down the bulk of it, and then they might come to me, an electrologist, for the remainder. If they have gray hairs, they're definitely going to an electrologist if they want to get rid of it. Yes, I treat everyone. You know, I have clients who want the hair removed from their faces. So electrolysis takes a long time, though. It's a commitment.
And for people who have been listening to us, we've had a lot of interviews. I told everyone that I spent a year, before I knew Lise-Anne, but years ago, having it removed underneath my arms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. I don't have hair under my arm anymore. Maybe I have one. Every once in a while, a little hair comes out or something. But so I really am a great proponent of this because I saw it work.
Anyone who sees it work would be a great proponent of it.
Yeah, because it actually helps you not to have odor. I think it's the hair. Isn't it odor under your arm that the hair that plays a big part of that?
The odor is caused by bacteria. The sweat that comes out of the glands reacts with bacteria, which is what causes the odor. Sure, the hair could keep the odor there and hold on to it, but it's not the hair itself that causes the odor.
I see. But and so people are having it on for their eyebrows. I'm sure a lot of people come to have permanent eyebrow
eyebrow shaping, and then you don't have to worry about tweezing any longer. I have several clients who have done that, and clients who come to do that. You can do men's ear hair. Sometimes men have an errant hair on the tip of their nose. You can get rid of that. It's good for any kind of hair that's on facial hair or body hair.
Because if they don't know about you, they would just pluck it?
Yes.
On the nose?
Most people are plucking it. And then, I don't know, they find out about electrolysis or me through someone, and then they'll decide to come in because they're just so tired of dealing with it and worrying about it.
I would think it would be a great dinner conversation if you're out with people, and if they'll even admit to it. Is it a little bit of a sensitive subject?
Sometimes. Sometimes someone will bring up what I do. We'll start talking about it. And then if there's men at the table, I'll say, yeah, do you have ear hair? And then, because they've already brought up the subject and they're already having the conversation. So then I feel free to say, ask questions. And then when I say, yeah, do you have ear hair? They always touch their ear and they go, no way. And I'm like, yeah, it works really well. You should try it.
Well, what about people who wax? Let's just talk about the negatives of that and why it is better, to do it permanently, because waxing is a monthly thing or whatever.
Well, in the long run, you'll save money if you're continuing to wax over a lifetime. You're going to be spending thousands of dollars on waxing. Electrolysis, you may spend thousands depending on how much hair you have to remove. But over the course of the years, you'll be done faster, and you won't have to worry about it again, and you won't spend nearly quite as much.
Yeah,
so it's worth it.
And I've done a lot of waxing on my legs and other areas, and it hurts. Whoa! I'm just thinking about It's like you take a deep breath, and they're going to pull it.
You're pulling on the skin, so you're ultimately stretching the skin. Sometimes you actually take a little bit of layer of the skin off when people wax, and looks like a little road rash burn. So it can be harsh on your skin, waxing. I mean, I do it all. I can do waxing. Some people don't want their eyebrows done with electrolysis just because they think it hurts too much, or they just don't want that sensation. They don't want it near their eyes. It's all a personal preference. Some people are afraid of things.
So you will remove hair no matter what?
I will.
Talking about that, though, when you finish, you put something on, I know, to cool it. What
I
is
use
that?
creams. One of the ones I have has tea tree oil in it, which is soothing and anti-inflammatory, which is very good. And then I always apply sunscreen. I prefer to use a mineral block because it blocks out all of the rays from the sun, the UVA and UVB rays, and your skin is very sensitive after electrolysis, and the sun could hyperpigment it, you could burn. Even though it doesn't look like a serious injury, ultimately you are injuring the tissue to a microscopic degree, and you just don't want the sun to affect it over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Because your article coming up in our May issue is all about that.
All about sunscreen.
Yeah, and it's very important. And there are different sunscreens.
Yes, there's chemical blocks and mineral blocks. Chemical blocks are, they actually take the heat of the sun and they transform it. And then the mineral blocks actually block the sun. So you ever put on a sunscreen, say from the drugstore, and you put it on, and sometimes you get irritated from it, and it also feels very hot on your skin because the sun is actually being absorbed into that chemical. Whereas with the mineral block, it reflects it. So you're not feeling the effect of that heat from the sun like you do. So I definitely am a proponent of mineral blocks and prefer them.
Yeah, and thanks for your article, because most people, I did not know what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah. You don't think about it if you're not, if you don't read about it or learn about it or are just very interested in something that's not chemical as opposed to more natural.
My husband has sunblock he sprays on his face. I'm sure it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's very strong smelling, and it's like, it's...
Yeah, there's all kinds of additives into the chemical ones, whereas the mineral ones, zinc and titanium dioxide are the two ingredients, and it's natural, and there's no extra things added for stabilization. They stay stable on their own. Whereas the chemicals that you get from the drugstore, they need additives because they don't stay stable.
A lot of business, a lot of stuff to learn about, isn't there, in this
There
whole
is.
world of keeping yourself attractive
Beautiful.
and safe. Well, and safe because of the
Yes.
sun. Because every once in a while you see someone and you know something's happened. They have a big patch that maybe they had cancer.
I ask my clients all the time when I see them come in with a tan, I said, do you go out in the sun regularly? And they'll say yes. And I said, will you stop? And they'll tell me no. And I said, okay. And, you know, I say it to the same ones over and over and over. And they said, well, when did you stop going in the sun? I said, maybe 12 years ago, I stopped sitting in the sun because it's so bad for you.
But carrying on that conversation, can you, if you had a big hat, does it make a difference?
Not without sunblock because there's reflection all the time.
Oh, so sunblock, but you're not going to get tan if you have sunblock on. Is that what the problem is? Like these people want to sit out in the sun because they
Right.
want to get tan.
Right. They want to get tan. This will block the sun. You won't tan.
So that's what they're. So.
Yeah. With some of them, you will still tan. It's better than nothing. But those mineral blocks will keep you from tanning.
But there are things to put on to make you look tan. Some people use too much of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they really have to have that, I mean, for women, it's easier because we can use makeup.
Right.
But it's still not, men have this, they want to look like they're on the golf course all the time. And
Right.
that's another story. People on golf courses and playing tennis, they have to be very careful, don't
Yes.
they?
Yes. Most of them are, I think.
Because they know. Okay. I want to keep talking about what it is that, and in your article, the white hair, and I was so interested in that. Is it the same white hair that happens on our head? I mean,
Yeah.
the hair on the face.
Yeah. The white hair is just loss of pigment. It's not a different kind of hair or anything like that. But your hair, there are melanocytes down in the hair follicle that create pigment because our bodies create melanin. And so white hair is the absence of all of that. They just stop working.
Is there something that you can sell to make people?
I wish I could. I'd be a millionaire.
I know. It's got to be something, don't you think? That
One day someone might come up with something like that.
And the other interesting, let's think even about President Obama and even Bill Clinton and even before them.
Stress. Stress can cause this to happen. Turns off the
hard.
melanocytes.
There's something to do with that too, isn't it? And would never have thought that we always know stress is bad for us, but it certainly comes out in hair.
In different ways. Stress wreaks havoc on your body in all ways, yes.
So when they come to your studio, you have got to figure out, get a bottle of stress pills.
Some of it's age, too, age-related. It's not all stress, but stress can
When it
be
happens
one of
in
the
one
factors.
year, you know
Yes,
that it
that
was
is,
stress,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing that you can
Unfortunately, I'm not a physician, no.
Yeah, but you certainly work around this. So let me just tell you, I am talking to Lise-Anne Jensen. It's time to tell you how you can contact her. Her organization is called Serenity Skin. Serenity Skin. And her phone number is 561-866-7400. That's Serenity Skin. That means very calm skin, right?
Yes.
Right, it was a good name. Serenity Skin at 561-866-7400. And you have a lovely website, which is SerenitySkinInc.com. SerenitySkinInc.com. And it's very unusual. If someone says, where are you going? Some people say a golf game or tennis. But you get to say, I'm going to my electrologist.
Yeah,
right?
that's what people
They'll
tell.
say, what's that? Right?
Yes, they either say, what's that, or why are you going to see her?
Right. Are there male electrologists?
There's only one that I know of in the area.
It's not common, is it, for a
No.
man to do this?
No, neither is being a esthetician. There aren't many male estheticians either. It's very rare.
You're right. And there are a lot of massage therapists, male and female.
Yeah.
You wonder why they've not jumped into this profession.
Yeah. Electrology, cosmetology are all highly, women.
Well, that says something. I have no idea why that's true, but maybe you figure that out. So let's just go back on people who have a need to have hair removed. They have to make a decision how they want to have it removed. Do they want it removed permanently, or do they just want it removed for their upcoming party?
Right.
And that way, then they're probably just going to tweeze it, or they're going to use some other form. But this is, and you're right, this is a commitment.
It's a commitment both time-wise and financially. So someone has to really want it to come.
And let's really go into the actual, so people who don't know what this is, again, you've done it, but let's do it again. What actually do you do?
I have a machine called an epilator, and it has an electrode on it that has a needle on the end. We call it a probe. And I actually insert the probe into the hair follicle. So the hair is growing out of the follicle. It's an opening. So I'm not puncturing the skin. And I insert it in there, and then I step on a pedal and give it the current. I do adjust the current the first time someone comes to each individual, because not everyone's hair responds the same. Some will come out easier than others at a different setting. So I do have to play with that a little bit the first time someone comes. And then once I get it, then I keep a record of that in their chart. So once I give them the current, the hair gets released, and you remove the hair with the tweezer. At the same time, you don't feel that part as much. And then you just move on to the next hair. So I do that for a while.
So the hair doesn't fall out. You have to remove it with a tweezer.
Right.
But you can tell if it's
it gets loose. Once I give it the current, the hair gets loose, and then it's able to slip out of the hair follicle.
Yeah, it does slip out. So if it isn't, as we call, ripe, then would you go back and do it again so that you can get it out?
You can do it you can give it current a couple of times, but you don't want to over-treat the follicle either. So that's why some of these stronger hairs take more visits to get rid of.
How do you remember which hair of all the hair takes longer that they have to wait for the next time?
I don't keep track of each individual hair.
So you don't. So you just go back again.
They just come back and I do it again. Some people swear they know their hairs. You know, they give them names or whatever.
Oh, no. Oh, come on.
But
oh, that's good. You're kidding.
I'm kidding.
It's a hair that keeps coming back and they have a name for it?
No, they think that they know the hair. But every follicle on your body is capable of growing a hair. So let's say I take one out today and you have another hair in the area tomorrow. It's not the same hair. It's out of a different follicle. But they'll swear it's the same one. Okay, I'll humor them and let them think that. Although when you remove a hair, when someone tweezes the hair, it takes 3 to 6 weeks for that hair to grow back. So most likely, the hair that comes out tomorrow, if you tweeze today, is definitely not the same hair.
And something you told me is when you're thinking about coming there and you have a party or something and you have a hair, you said to cut it with a scissor.
Yeah, trim them. Don't pluck them. Plucking's the worst thing you can do. If you're going to be going to an electrologist, you're just prolonging the treatments if you're going to continue to pluck, tweeze, wax, whatever it is you're doing.
So, but if you trim it, how can you see it when the person comes back in? If they've just scissored it?
Well, they have to wait till it comes out again.
Right.
At least, usually when you trim it, it's not so short that you can't feel it. So as long as you can feel it, I can get it. It's my job.
Can you, let's say, can you go over a face when they first come in? Do you go over the face or do you use your magnifying glass to really see it, don't you?
I use my magnifying loops, yes.
And you also have, you
Those
have
are the
these little
loops.
glasses that she wears.
Yeah.
They're called magnifying loops.
Yes.
And you can see everything.
I see everything. I see things you don't see.
I was going to say.
People say, I didn't know I had that much hair. I said, I could see everything you don't see.
So maybe you have to, now I know you always want to invent something. We've talked about that. You could invent an X-ray of that. So when you take the pic, when you're looking at it, you click something, you take it, and then they could see it. Wouldn't you like that?
They do take microscopic pictures of hair. So I would like to know how they do that because, I would like to do that actually.
Yes, because then someone could see and say, oh, my gosh, you have to get those, right? And I know it's going to take 6 months, but you better get them for me before, right? I go back and do something.
There you go.
Yeah, I would think there was well, let me ask you this. If you, your camera really can't see that. If you took a picture of, it's too small.
It's too small. You need, a microscopic
you need something that's
camera.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, well, you'll figure that out. You can go to Shark Tank, right? Tell me you have this great idea.
It's probably out there. I just haven't researched it.
Yeah, it's only for your benefit to show.
But it's nice to be able to show someone photos. Sure, it would be of themselves before, after, with a microscopic view. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before and after picture, exactly. But the before isn't.
I mean, when I look at someone just with the naked eye, like I'm looking at you right here, I see nothing.
Right.
I have to look under that to see it. And most people are, when they come into me, and they tell me they have all of this, they've been looking at their face with a magnifying mirror at home. So I always say to them, well, how do you see the hairs on your face? And they'll say, I have this 20-time magnifier. And I said, throw it out, because nobody sees that.
Oh, that's so comforting.
Yeah. Just, if you feel it, okay.
You feel it, but no one's seeing it, right?
But no one's really seeing it
unless
they come up close to you.
However, there are people, and they usually are elder ladies who do have...
Because it grows too long. They let it grow too long. That's why you see it. Mm-hmm. But if they were to trim it, then you wouldn't see it so well.
So that's it. And it's funny, I see people like that, and I want to go and do something and help them, but I don't ever say anything. Okay, Lise-Anne Jensen, and her company is called Serenity Skin. You can call her for an appointment. It's a complimentary consultation. You can't beat that. 561-866-7400. And that's 561-866-7400. It's been wonderful talking. I am coming back.
Thank you.
When I see you, I get excited, and I want to come back. I just have to cancel other things. Put Lise-Anne on my agenda. You're so
you
so
have
nice.
To schedule me in.
Yeah, I have to schedule you in, and I like to. It's such a wonderful thing, but I will. You'll be my appointment. We'll work about that when we get off the show. Thanks, Lise-Anne.
You're welcome. Thank you.